If you had to guess, how much water do you think we use in Metro Vancouver every day? Here's a hint. It's enough to fill up all of BC Place Stadium. The answer is we use 1 billion liters of clean, safe water every single day in our homes and businesses. Metro Vancouver supplies the water in bulk to local governments, who then ensure the water flows to your home. This is done through a complex system that includes 3 watersheds, 5 dams, 2 water treatment plants, 26 storage reservoirs and tanks, 19 pumping stations, and more than 520 kilometers of water mains. Malcolm Brody is the chair of the Metro Vancouver Water Committee, and he joins us today. Welcome, Malcolm.
Nice to be here.
Let's start with, what are the current priorities for the water service today?
Yeah, I think to answer that question, I think we need to look at just a little bit of the history of the whole situation. Metro Vancouver has a number of different departments, different services. Historically, it was set up over 100 years ago so that we could provide basic services for cities where it's really difficult or cost ineffective to have the city provide it for themselves. So think of air quality. It knows no boundaries. You can deal with it best as a region. Water falls into this same category. So when we talk about the current situation and the priorities that we see, I'll just talk about a couple. First of all, water supply involves huge, huge infrastructure. And I'm talking about huge water pipes and all kinds of high-tech engineering and important and very complex parts of the service. That has to all be brought together. We have to take care of what we have. We have to look into the future, and we have to be able to pay for it. And one vehicle that we have asked for from the provincial government is called development cost charges. This is something that we're familiar with at the local government level. What it means is that growth is going to pay for itself. And with the development cost charge, if you build a unit in Metro Vancouver, there would be a small charge put on that unit, and that money would go into the pot and it would pay for future infrastructure. So as we grow, that growth is getting subsidized by the growth. So that's the first kind of priority, is to be able to charge development cost charges so that we can appropriately invest. And the second priority, I would say, and it's something that goes throughout the entire Metro Vancouver organization, which is care for the environment. And in the water context, that means, in large part, conservation of what we have. It's important that we have plenty of infrastructure. As I say, it's very costly. We have to deal with the water. We have to grow. There's various issues that we're going to face going into the future. And so if we start to conserve water, maybe we don't need that expensive infrastructure quite so quickly, and there won't be so much wear and tear on the infrastructure that we do have. So those two things I would list as the top priorities, to be able to pay for the infrastructure and to conserve the water that we've got for environmental and financial reasons.
A lot of people, and I'm sure you've heard this, would wonder, why do we have to conserve our water when we live in a rainforest?
Well, all you have to do today, in part, is to look out the window behind us. It's a beautiful, hot, sunny day in the middle of summer. So yes, you do have those days throughout the winter, into the spring and into the fall, where you have more water than you can take care of, but you also have the hot summer. So it's not something that is the same all year long. And if you don't take the proper measures to conserve your water when you've got an abundance of it, then you won't have it. And secondly, you look into the future. We have lots of water now. We have more than we can handle sometimes in some parts of the year. But you look into the future, you've got climate change, you've got global warming, you've got pressures on that water supply. So let's not get overconfident with what we've got now and just assume that it's always going to exist. We've got to be far more careful with the environment and with water than that.
Add to all that is population growth as well. I think the expectation is around 35,000 people coming to Metro Vancouver every year for the next while. So do we have enough water then to accommodate that population growth?
Yeah, we took a look into the future. And when I say we took a look into the future, I'm talking about 100 years out. What are the requirements going to be for that whole period of time? Do we have the infrastructure that can take care of it? And of course, that meant we had to make a lot of projections. But yes, while we have to think of when you're talking into the future, you're thinking of everything from climate change to growth to seismic risk, many other factors. We believe that we are well on our way to having what we need for the future. We certainly have enough for now, and we're building for the future and investing in it.
What specifically is being done to ensure that?
Well, if you take a look at the current plan, there's something like 7 water tunnels. And I mean, these are big, gigantic pipes. That whole program is a multi-year program. It is huge. It's very, very costly. A bit of it has been completed, and we've got a number of these water tunnels to go. So that's the first thing, is we have to look to the infrastructure. We also have made some arrangements for the Coquitlam Lake. Now, we have the 3 lakes that are the main reservoirs, the main watersheds, Seymour and Capilano. But the third one is Coquitlam, and we've made arrangements to be able to take far more water from that Coquitlam watershed, and that's an important part of our program going forward.
When you're talking about the infrastructure, is that a matter of having more storage, or how does that piece work into ensuring we have enough supply looking ahead to the future?
Well, if you're looking to the infrastructure, you're looking for everything to make sure you've got the capacity, whether you're talking about pipes, whether you're talking about the disinfection, whether you're talking about just the provision of that water for the future and everything that it takes. It's not simply a matter of having a source of water, you put it in a pipe and deliver it out to the various parts of our region. It takes a huge amount of engineering and science to make sure that it all fits together and it works.
Because of COVID-19, resiliency has been a real buzzword. So how can the water service handle or incorporate more resiliency in terms of unexpected calamities?
Well, we've come through a lot of the COVID crisis very well in terms of the water. I would say that it is unchanged, but water is fundamental to our quality of life and to life itself. We cannot exist without it.
That's true.
It's a matter of just making sure that we have the adequate supplies. We have upgraded the infrastructure with Seymour Capilano water filtration plant, which impose higher regulations in terms of water quality. So I think that we're well positioned, but we have to be able to grow with it. And part of that is having our industries grow as well. We have enough water for the various industries, but most of the industries, to a small or large extent, are dependent upon having a good supply of clean, potable water. And so it's a matter of making sure that that situation stays the same.
Thank you so much for this, Malcolm. Malcolm Brody is the Mayor of Richmond and the Chair of the Water Committee for Metro Vancouver.